Thanks for tuning in to Say What Now? Reddit Stories. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment, and don't forget to turn on those notifications. And now, on to the story of Am I the asshole for not going home after giving birth because my husband missed it to help our friends? No. I, 32F, just had our second baby a few days ago, and instead of going home, I asked to be discharged to my sister's house. I don't know if that makes me an asshole or overly emotional or whatever, which is why I'm here. Some background. My husband, 33M, and I were teen parents. We had our daughter at 18 and 19. She's 14 now. It's been a long road, and we waited a long time to feel ready to go through it all over again. This baby was very much planned and wanted. But ever since I hit the third trimester, I've kind of felt alone all the way in this. My husband started spending a lot of time with this couple we know. They're in a similar boat. They had their first kid as teens as well, and they've just recently had their second baby. I get that it's a lot for them. Their oldest is 17, and they weren't planning on having another, so he's just been helping them out some. But it went from a nice gesture to almost daily visits, grocery runs, watching their newborn while they were taking a nap, fixing stuff around their house, bringing food over, and sometimes with our daughter tagging along, and sometimes without even letting me know he was going. Yeah, that's crazy. Meanwhile, I was trying to keep up with everything at home, going to appointments alone. Going to appointments alone? Not, oh, never mind. Dealing with the mess with this late stage of pregnancy. I brought it up to him more than once, and every time he'd either say I was exaggerating or that he was there, just not in the way I wanted him to be. He kept saying I was being territorial or weirdly competitive about them needing help, which made me question myself even more, especially being pregnant. And sometimes us as pregnant women have a different kind of mindset. I understand that. I also started noticing changes in our daughter. She's an ice dancer and has an intense schedule. And after going with her dad to help at their house, she'd come back totally spaced out, quiet, eating less. I figured she was just tired, but it started to feel off. She almost fell during practice one morning because she was so drained, and her coach made her sit out for the rest of the week. That was a big wake up call for me. I told my husband that enough was enough, and we needed to pull back, not just for me, but for her as well. He apologized and said he'd keep the visit shorter, only go when it was really needed. The visits were hardly shorter, but my daughter seemed less tired, and I could actually go to sleep with my husband some nights, so I counted it as a win. When I went into labor, I called him from the car while my sister drove me to the hospital. I got no answer, no text message, nothing. He showed up about 4 hours after the baby was born with a slushie for me and said he was sorry. He was sorry. You sorry, all right. But the other couple had a rough night and he he didn't want to leave them stranded. Sir, I would definitely leave you stranded in hell. That's that's where you can wholeheartedly go. I didn't know what to say. I didn't want to cause a big scene there in the hospital, but when I could be discharged, I just had my sister take me to her house since my husband wasn't there. Now he's saying I'm being dramatic, that I'm punishing him for helping people who don't have the support we do. He told me I'm being cold and that I'm setting a bad example for our daughter by shutting him out. He's also implied more than once that I'm trying to act like a victim when he was doing what any decent person would do. Ooh, baby, people love to throw that out. Oh, you're being a victim. Well, then don't treat me like one. How about that? I mean, duh. His mom called yesterday and said I should be ashamed for taking the baby away. I never said anything about keeping him from our son. I've told him he can come see the baby whenever he wants. I've been texting our daughter, keeping up with her, and I plan to be back home the moment I've recovered. I'm not trying to split up our family. I just needed a break, a quiet space to breathe and actually rest. I'm exhausted mentally and physically. But now I'm second guessing myself. Was it wrong to go somewhere else to recover? Should I have just gone home and tried to work it out there? I don't want this to turn into some drawn out fight or drama, especially not with a newborn in the picture. I don't even know if I'm thinking clearly at this point. I mean, I understand because it's like, it makes it even worse when you just have a baby because you could be going through postpartum depression. You're still having all of these hormones going on. It's a multitude of things that guys, quite honestly, and if it's any guys listening, I'm not putting you all down, but you wouldn't understand because you're not in a female's body. You don't go through that aftershock of you've already had your body taken over, which is why you probably hear people say it's like a parasite attached to you, but you've never experienced having your body taken over by essentially somebody else. And then when you have that baby, your entire body, your mind, your psyche is trying to go back to what it was doing 9 months or more before. And it takes a while, which is why some women do go through postpartum depression because everything just doesn't snap back as quickly as you would love for it to. But hold on, she has an update. She says, "Hey again, just wanted to thank everyone who commented on the original post and gave an honest feedback. So, here's an update. About 2-ish days after posting, I took my daughter out of school for a few days. I had my sister bring her to her house so we could be in the same space and I could be in a better I could get a better read on what she was actually doing and how she was. I didn't want to come to her all at once, so I let her rest and decompress a bit. Gave her some room to be a kid again, sleep in, eat actual food, breathe. Then one afternoon, we were doing dishes and just chatting, and I gently asked, what's it really like at the other couple's place? I told her I wasn't mad, I just wanted to understand. She paused for a while and then she told me the truth. She kind of been seeing their 17-year-old son, not officially dating, but spending a lot of time alone together. That's concerning. She said she tried to remind her dad it was getting late, but the boy would pull her aside and they'd end up hanging out longer. She didn't get into any details, but it was pretty clear what she meant by the way she kept blushing and looking away from me. Her being tired all the time suddenly made a lot more sense. I also asked carefully if anything felt off about her dad lately, like if he seemed out of it or off in some way, or was acting strange during their visits. She said not really, but that she'd smell weed once or twice, usually when they were finally about to leave, and he was usually really sweaty at the end of it. She didn't seem too freaked out about it, but it made my stomach turn a bit. When my husband found out I had taken her out of school and brought her to my sister's house, he lost it. He accused me of trying to turn her against him, and called it parental interference. Like, okay. I told him I just wanted to rest and have some space. He wasn't hearing it. A few hours later, his mom called again, yelling, saying I was trying to steal the baby, isolate our daughter, ruin the family, etc. She left this long voicemail how I needed to bring his children home where they belonged. And I haven't responded because what was she going to do is my question. Like, what are you really going to do? I haven't told him what our daughter shared yet. I'm still trying to figure out how to bring it up and how to press him for more details about what he's actually been doing during those visits, other than what I found out from what my daughter said. So, yeah, that's where things stand. Messy, exhausting, but a little clearer than before. It, listen, I don't ever understand, especially if somebody literally just had a baby. It's not hard to just be nice. Like, how do you how do you become the caring person for someone else but not for your own wife? And then it seems like it's a lie. It's so many thoughts that was going through my head after reading the update and finding out exactly what he's been doing, because the initial thought process, what which was what she was told, the little things he was going over there to do. But it's like, one red flag is, why are the 14 and the 17 horny teenagers being left alone? That's one. Two, y- you're out here smoking with our kids and a newborn and a newborn. And then three, why are you sweaty? My mind just went to all types of I don't think she's there. So like, I feel like you got yourself out of that situation, especially because you needed to mentally reset. You got your daughter out of that situation because no. It and then on top of that, again with the daughter spending time with the son, they were teen parents. So as the father, you've already gone through this. Why would you then put your child in the position to potentially be in the same boat that you and your wife did? Now, thank God, like he's been saying and she's been saying, you all have, the help and things of that nature to push through it. And I'm sure she would too, but why even put them in that situation to have that potentially happen? It's so many questions that I felt like I had from this. That was the only update that she gave. I felt like it should have been more, much more. But I would love to know, like, when she finally asked him, like, what did he say? What was his response? Did he tell the truth? Is the daughter mad because, will the mom let her go back over there to see the boy? What were they doing when they were alone? It's so many questions. Lord. Mm. What do y'all think? I feel like this is a story with many infinite questions. What do y'all think? Let me know. Comment, like it. Please subscribe, y'all. If y'all are listening, subscribe, baby. It only takes a click. Until next time. Bye-bye.